Okay, just be ready because I'm gonna sit down right there. I already have YouTube going on.
Okay.
So if you wanna.
Go ahead.
Yeah, then you go ahead. Let me shut this off.
Joe, can you hand me my tablet there real quick? Just yeah, thank you.
How am I supposed to get my fat ass behind this?
I do the same way. It's supposed to be on the back.
Right?
You guys are on YouTube right now. Live.
Oh man.
Turn on Facebook. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, now Facebook is live.
All right.
Okay.
Where did you get that one?
Hey, Chihuahua.
I do.
Hello.
No, I have a mutt, not a chihuahua.
I have 4 Chihuahuas. Hello, and welcome to the Chips and Salsa Show. We're starting a little early today, so we're on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome to the Chips and Salsa Show, and I'm Don Jorge. I'm manning the controls here. Alice is doing a project at work, so she'll be here a little later, and with me I have Sid de la Fuente with Carlo.
Carlo. Servant American Latino Organization. How you doing?
So he's going to help me co-host today, and our guest is going to be Michael Infantum, and he's with what's the organization?
I am the managing partner for Epic Policy Group, and we also run the Arizona Veterans PAC.
The Arizona Veterans PAC. So we're going to learn a lot about that today. I want to welcome all chipsters, and let's see. This week has been September the 11th. We're not honoring it. What we're doing is paying respect to all of those fallen that died on September the 11th, 2001. And so we keep them in our memories, and we'll never forget them, because what happened those days were like really, really bad, and we can never forget that. And the enemy would like us to forget it, but we're not going to forget it. And just like Pearl Harbor, we'll never forget Pearl Harbor. We'll never forget September 11th. And that'll encourage us to have our defenses up like we've been doing. I want to mention that the Supreme Court passed the asylum, favored the administration with the asylum ruling that people coming into the United States, the countries that they cross, they would have to sign up over there before they came in here. And that's what the courts, twice they knocked it down, and so the Supreme Court just ruled in the Trump administration's favor. Let's see. Tonight they're having the Democratic debate. We were watching a little bit of it. It's interesting, and
Say the least.
Yeah.
and we're watching them eat each other up. They're just beating each other up, and they're just positioning themselves for power. And I call it the boring socialist bashing Trump debate, and that's all it is. And the free giveaways, because they want to give everything away free, and it's just, I watch a little bit of it, and you just get sick of watching it because it just doesn't change.
There's on that debate what we just watched. It was just everything I've heard on that. They talk about racism. They talk about racism. They talk about race. And who are they to talk? They're the ones that are putting, dividing us. They're the ones that are putting every person that into a category, into racism. They're the ones that divided it. That and I don't see how they are even talking about that.
And the thing is, they're going to see in 2020, there's going to be so many people voting for Trump, it's going to be ridiculous. A lot of people have crossed over, blacks, Asians, you name it, they've crossed over, Hispanics, and they're going to vote for Trump. They know that Trump is not a racist, and he's one of the best presidents we've ever had. And he went to North Carolina. He rallied there. What was it? Friday, I think it was Friday. And he, the two representatives won by quite a bit, and so we got a victory in North Carolina, and I think it was the Trump factor. But people are showing that things are going to change. Things are going to change, and we just have to believe in our president. I want to also remind people that we have a friend out there on a radio station called Hub Radio Phoenix with Ron Lutters, his organization out there. And it's a radio program that he started, and it's called Hub Radio. So on Wednesdays, if you have time, tune in and watch it. And it's a good radio station. It's starting to pick up, and it's on Facebook on Hub Radio Phoenix. That's all you have to put down, and you'll see him. So check it out. Aside from that, Sid, what have you been up to?
No, they've been kind of busy being a parent at the same time and trying to get the organization going. Starting to get fast track. We got this event coming up September 25th out in Buckeye with Jesse Romero.
That's going to be a good event because
Yeah.
Jesse Romero is a good speaker.
Very good. He's a very good speaker, very good apologetics. He tells it like it is and tells us the topic. Of course, the topic's going to be church and politics. Some will believe that church, you get a lot of liberals that come down and say church, you got to separate church and politics, got to separate church and government. Well, some, to be honest with you, church and politics, sometimes they go together. They do go together. Whether we like to see it or not, it does go together. There's a sense that does go together. A lot of people say that politics should be out of it. It shouldn't be out of it. You got to understand too, especially with us Latinos. Us Latinos are very religious persons. We're very religious, and this is what I've booked this event for, because us as Latinos, being very religious, we tend to also put that in the back seat when it comes to voting, when it comes to getting our candidates. We see those that, okay, especially on they thought the American news was biased. Oh yeah, you go, you see the Spanish news is very biased. And that's what we get information. A lot of Latinos get the older information. They're getting the information from there, the bias, the one-sided. And sometimes we're leaving our religion behind. Where, just to point for a fact that the Democrat Party, a lot of Latinos grew up with the Democrat Party. I grew up with my family.
I did too.
You know, our folks grew up with the Democrat Party. My dad, you know, God bless him. He'd probably wondering what I'm doing Republican, you know. But that's the thing. You have to go look with the Republican Party. If you look at the Republican Party and you look at their stance and you look at their platform, it is goes hand in hand with Latino values. But that, in a sense, we are losing that too within the Latino community, within the Latinos. We're losing that. We're getting to the point where we are dependent, or getting to where, what can we get? You know, what can we get for free? What can we get for nothing? Okay, we're losing that sense of
So the Democrats, being a Democrat? Or
being a Democrat. It's like, what can I get for free, or who's going to really give me something? Who's going to really show me something? You know, and that's what we're losing here. Where the Republican Party is saying, you know, hey, let me show you what it is for you yourself, because we're used to it. Latinos are used to that. We're hard working. We work hard. We know what it is to work. Okay.
'Cause I earned everything I got.
Yeah, and we know.
I
You know,
work.
it's really odd
Mhm.
because I grew up in Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, in a very Hispanic area, and they were all Republicans.
Yeah.
You know, the Cuban influence in South Florida is very conservative. Like you said, it's the
Mhm.
Catholic conservative, you know, the religious conservatives, you know,
Mhm.
the you know pro life and pro family entrepreneurs, which is Republican values,
Mhm.
and the Cuban community was anti-communist.
Yeah.
So it was all Republican, you know. So
Yeah.
so it's moving to the Southwest, and and hearing, well, the Hispanic community is all Democrat. It confused me when I first moved here. I'm like, well, no, Hispanics are Republicans. I don't understand.
Yeah, it is. Imagine myself, who was a Democrat, who was from the liberal city of California, being growing up that way, growing up California, growing up liberal. I know my friends right now, if they're saying this, they're like, "Yeah, talk about us again. Talk about it." Like, California is good, okay? It has its nice places and everything else. But growing up Democrat, for me, they were the party that would take care of me, would watch over. They were for that. They gave that sound where um, it was they're the ones that would take care of the little man. They really would take care of the little man and the person, you know. But now that was, yeah, you could say that was, a lot of people say that was the Kennedy era.
It changed though.
Yeah,
It changed.
and it's
It changed with Lyndon Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it really did.
It changed to where it's not that way no more. And September 25th with Jesse Romero, and he'll get into something. He wrote a good book in Spanish, but it's called Falling Off the Donkey. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is a great book, and he has another one that's out right now, and he have all his books on display. But it's a good point. The Democrat Party is not like it was before. The JFK party, then it's not. Just look at their platform. Just look at the platform. This convention that they're going to have. Look at read their platform. It is far. It's so far off. So. I think, and come back to Florida, where a lot of the Cubans, they understand it. They understand because they know what they fled. A lot of Cubans I've talked to also, they understand socialism. They understand it very much.
Even the South Americans,
Mhm.
the Colombians, the Peruvians,
Mhm.
the Bolivians, the Venezuelans, who left South America and moved to South Florida,
Yeah.
they've integrated into the same culture. You know, the Hispanic culture, and they're all so anti-socialist and so anti-communist that they're all entrepreneurs, and all. It's one of the reasons why South Florida flourished so much during the '70s.
Mhm.
You know, and it became the hub. It was the international hub for so many years, and it still is. It's still booming today. I mean, with 4 hurricanes in the last 25 years, you know, basically wiped out South Florida, and people moving out by the hundreds of thousands, and it's still so crowded.
Yeah.
You know?
It's and that's the thing. But here it's you see it. It's a different, and I hate to say it, but you have to. And this is what I put is, you can't. Government Democrats tend to put, they tend to put us American, is however you want to put it, American Hispanic, American Latino, American Asian, Cuban. They, especially with Latinos, the Democrat Party want to put you all in one boat. They just want to put you all in one. You know, they put it. My opinion is, and this is the way I look at it. Liberals want to put you inside a box. They want to put the Latino community, Hispanics, everybody in one box, and keep you in that box, and just keep you that box so that they can get your vote. You know, they can have your vote. You start thinking outside that box, like myself and everybody else, Jezra. It's for them. It's like you're the one that's a racist. You're the one, even though you're Latino, even though you're Hispanic, however you want to say, you're the one that's still racist. You're the one that, how can you be that way? Okay. But it's in that form where we're losing. We're losing where it's like me. I came to realize, hey, the Republican Party, their values stand just like what I was raised with, the values that I was kind of raised with to be independent, to think, to, especially one that really the one that really kind of gets me is we're very religious. We're very religious. So how can we vote, Latinos? How can we vote for someone that is going to go ahead and pass bills for abortion? How?
I've had this discussion with so many within the Republican Party about this.
Mm-hmm.
There are legislative districts throughout Maricopa County and throughout the state, but
Yeah.
we were just talking about the county, that are solid blue. And I think your district is one of them.
13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like,
19.
yeah. Well, but the thing is, there are solid candidates, and there's one, and I think it's your district. Is it your district or it's 29 or 30?
Mm-hmm.
There's a Latina, a strong, well-educated, extremely articulate Latina whose family has been in Arizona for a few generations,
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur, she's educated, attractive, conservative, Catholic,
Yeah.
conservative, pro-life.
Sounds like Tatiana.
Tatiana?
I think that's who it is.
That's Tatiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? And it's like, okay, let's get the Republican Party behind her. She may not win this cycle, but you know what? That's the kind of candidate, single shot her in those districts, or get a candidate like that.
Yeah.
You can single shot, and then you get your foot in the door in those districts, and you can show those communities that, hey, a conservative, I'm sorry, a blonde hair, blue eye with a last name of Jones is not going to win in that district.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how, who they are or what. Sorry, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's people vote. Just like somebody whose last name is Hernandez is not going to win in Paradise Valley or Scottsdale.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
It's
not racism, but it's just it's. I don't even know what to say
Yeah.
it, but it's. Sorry, it's.
Well, it's the community.
It's
Yeah,
a community.
you need
It's a
somebody from your
demographics.
you need
But-
somebody from your community.
Yeah.
And I've heard her speak before, and I didn't remember her name. The party, as not only the county, but the LD, the county, and the state needs to get behind her,
Yeah.
think
and
they
make
are.
sure. No, I mean really get behind her and make sure she has a fighting chance.
Mm-hmm. That is the thing. See, we as Latinos sometimes too, we gotta. We're used to fighting. We're used to getting up and brawling a couple times. I know I am. It's being.
No, that's fine.
You have to, and I think that's what our President Trump has shown us. He's shown us if you want to get things going, because how many doors have closed on him and people talking about him and the Congress themselves he's fighting an uphill battle, but yet look at this Supreme Court we just talked about, Supreme Court decision about asylum. It came, it went. What was he trying to fight for? He was fighting for that, speaking out about it, talking about it. And I think that's what our candidates need. That our candidates need. Like Tatiana, she does that. I've heard her talk. She's talked very good. She's talked very good. She brings that out. She brings that out to a lot of people, and that's what's needed. You need to go ahead and talk. You need to go ahead and understand, and that's what the Latino community. I've talked to a lot of Latinos that are construction workers, and sometimes they're building houses right where I live, and I'll go talk to them. Hey, how's it going? I'll talk to them either in Spanish or English, and I'll talk to them, and a lot of them had to say, they're still Democrat. They're like, they look at me and they say, how can you even be a Republican? How can
Because
you
their
even
mind
be?
is so.
Yeah,
They're
Well, it's, and I've had the discussion too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, do you love your family? Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you ever have your daughter or your sister or your wife want to get an abortion? No, we kicked that out of our church.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to start your own business, right? Yeah. Do you want to pay less taxes? Yeah. Do you want your kids going to better schools? Yeah. I said, guess what? You're a Republican.
Yeah. Yeah. How can that be? Yeah. You talk to them, and then some of them still. I've had some of them that still say no because, and their main priority, and they've been, I don't know, I guess the Democratic Party has done that real good for them, that they are instilled with, the Democrats going to take care of me. They're the ones that are going to take care of me. They're the ones that are going to be the
When have
one.
they?
You know, that's the thing. What happened? And that's what I tell them. What
The
happened?
I don't care. I'll be honest. I have been a Republican since July 16th, 1984, when I turned 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first election I voted for was, first vote I ever cast was for Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
And I have been a Republican ever since. The government will not take care of you.
No. And that's.
I don't care what anybody says. Neither party will take care of you.
Yeah.
It's some they may facilitate you being able to take care of yourself better than the other one will.
Uh-huh.
You know, I mean, it's just the way it
It's
is.
like what Kennedy says, not what you
Can do for yeah.
It's not what the country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. And
Right,
I mean,
right.
he sounds like a Republican. You
Yeah.
know? That's when I was a Democrat. Was when Kennedy was president, and I was a union president, and I was for the workers. I was always trying to get them better wages. It wasn't until years later, when Reagan became president, that I became a Republican. But I would tell the workers, you deserve the cost of living raise. You deserve optometry in the contract. And we got what we fought for. We had to go on strike. We got what fought for. But nowadays, the unions are trying to break the cities through pensions.
Well,
the pension
if you
funds.
look back,
Ridiculous.
yeah,
And so that's why
if you look back on history of the unions, there's a reason the unions started. And I tried to tell some of my union friends, and I have family members who are diehard union, and I buy clothes that are American made, and you know, I remember the TV commercials, buy the union label, and you know, I remember that.
Look
you know,
for the union label.
Yeah, I remember that. You know, we are an American family. We're going to support American products and American companies, and you know, it was
the unions.
it was to keep America great back in the 70s.
The union,
you know, but
because I was in the J.P. Stevens boycott, I was in the Coors boycott because of the way they were treating employees and stuff. But things changed so drastically after those years that I could never be
I'm sorry,
in a union and think
it's smart. It's just smart business to be able to say, you know what, there's three of us, and we're all doing the same job. You know what? Let's get together and have somebody, one of us, can go talk for all three of us to negotiate our salaries.
Yeah.
That's all a union is.
Yeah.
That's all a union is.
Yeah. No, I remember my father being a union worker. Because he was a machine operator, and I remember times where the union, he would have a difficulty or something doing wrong, and the union would represent him, and represent him good, represent him for to get his job, to fight for his job, and they were there to do for their members,
What they're supposed to do.
yeah, what they're supposed to do. But nowadays, it's not that way. We have a couple of friends, and I work at the same place where my dad used to work. That's out of business now. But the last couple of people that used to work, they didn't fight for them. They were doing right. Things were doing right. They told the union said, "Well, can't do nothing about it."
I met with a gentleman who works for one of the local unions, and we were talking, and the workers in the union average wage is like $15, $17 an hour. Okay, because it's a lower wage industry. We were looking up the union president just for the local.
Yeah.
$297,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he got the job because his father was union president.
Was union president? Yeah.
It's nepotism.
Wow.
Wow.
And this guy's like, how do I get that job so I can change it? And I'm like,
Got to marry into it.
I said, well, no. I said, grassroots.
Grassroots.
So I taught them a little bit about grassroots.
Uh-huh.
You know, same thing that we do on the Republican
That's
level.
it, yeah.
It's
I met Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez would not have been approving of these illegal aliens crossing the border.
mm,
He was fighting for the immigrants' rights on the field, and for people to be treated fairly. He would, he was not this radical type of, jumping over the fence to cross the border. Cesar Chavez was a good man. He was after the people's, representing the people's rights, and that's what unions are for. But that's not what the unions are now. The unions are.
it's to protect the workers so they don't get hurt, and safe environment to work and things like that, and to make a wage, but not to bankrupt the companies that they work for. We live in a country where the companies are going to make money. When you say, well, I work for company ABC, well, I think I should get half their profits.
Yeah.
They shouldn't make any money. Sorry,
Don't
I own the company. I put in the labor. I took the risk to start the company. You work for me. Yeah, I'm going to pay you.
Yeah.
But you're not going to cut into my paycheck. So I mean, it's the sense of entitlement thing. But I agree with you on that. South Florida is most of the tomatoes in the tomatoes grown in the United States come from South Florida.
Uh-huh.
And I remember the migrant workers coming up from El Salvador and Nicaragua and Costa Rica, picking the tomatoes and the pole beans and everything in the fields in South Florida. And there was a time that they may not have been treated very fairly, but after a while they started having, okay, well, here's the migrant camp, and there's good housing and safe water, and you bring your kids, we're gonna teach your kids with classroom stuff and teach the kids English. Oh, you want to become a citizen? Well, you have your worker card. Okay, well, we'll help you with the process, and and those type of things that they started working that way.
And that's what he was, Cesar Chavez. And a lot of people don't know that. They just think of Cesar Chavez as a union person.
Yeah.
He was a person for the people. And
I think they get him and Che Guevara mixed up.
yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing, and that's the thing that I'm trying to say. Also, is because the liberals they go ahead and put us in that one box, right? Just kind of they put us in that one box. The box being with also the illegals. Okay.
Well, they're bunching it all together. All the legal immigrants that came here the right way, got in line, came here, and have been working all these years to make their family successful, and they're watching these other people that they're just crossing over, disappearing, and not even appearing in court. Yeah. And it's like, that's all our president wants to do is make it right.
Make it right. Because that's something, and you brought that up, and I brought this story up with myself, right, with my father, and that's what really does pit myself and my brothers that kind of get irritated about it, is because my father came here, okay, and my grandfather came here, okay, both of them, not my mom's grandfather and my father came here. They had their workers card, they had their green card. I remember going every 5 years, I can't remember, my father dragging us over to the consulate. Yeah, see, I got a family. It's here. They're here. They're leaving. And to renew his card. And he constantly did that. At the end, just before he passed away, he became a citizen. Nothing was handed. It was always, okay, you had to do this, He tried to keep everything legal and get everything right. Okay, the right way. And now we got this, they're coming in. And that's what I tell some of the workers.
They think they're entitled.
The government makes it so difficult for somebody to become a citizen or even stay here.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not advocating for illegal immigration, but in a way I can understand why. Not that I'm advocating for it, because I'm a rule of law person. I'm sorry, if you're speeding, you should get a ticket. I mean, that's the way I am. But I can understand. I really can. Mm-hmm. I've sat in committee hearings. I've sat in meetings with state legislators and individuals who are here legally that paying $800 to $1,500 every other year, every 3 years, paying somebody that amount of money to help them fill out the forms that they have to pay another $500 to $800 to $3,000 just to stay here.
Yeah.
That's unfreaking believable.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's to the point of, you know, I own a public policy firm, to where we actually brought an attorney from out of state who is licensed to practice in the immigration court, and we started a nonprofit to help immigrants stay legal. As part of what the nonprofit, we call it the Constitutional Freedoms Project. It's
Is
to
that
keep,
illegal?
no. If you're if you're here legally,
Legally.
if you're here legally,
Yeah.
instead of and a lot of times the ones who are here legally to fill out the paperwork, they're paying people $800 to $1,500 to help them fill out
I've
the
heard
paperwork, and the paperwork's wrong. So now they have to leave because their paperwork's wrong,
And it's all because they did. And I've heard.
and they're getting raked over the coals and screwed over by individuals. So we started a nonprofit to be able to help people. You know what? Okay, you're already paying $1,000 to renew your green card.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna take us about 4 hours. Lawyers charge $200 an hour. Okay, so it's gonna cost you $800. We'll guarantee the paperwork's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and we can represent you in front of the immigration court. I mean, stupid things like that.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
Yeah.
And
Is that
you know
what this company is?
No.
No.
I have about 10 different things going on. we have a large staff underneath Epic Policy. We have I don't want to say subsidiaries, but we have different projects going on. Everything from the Veterans PAC to the Constitutional Freedoms Project to other things as well.
Could you tell us about the Veterans PAC?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The biggest thing is on this is I sat back last year and realized there's a lack of leadership today, and not only in Arizona but across our country.
Leadership and
Leadership, just plain leadership in politics, in business, in life, in schools. There's a lack of leadership, and being a Marine, it's all about leadership.
Yeah.
And from 18 years old, I was taught to be a leader. As a young E1, E2, E3, we were taught to be leaders.
Yeah.
Leaders in life, leaders in combat, leaders after. We don't have leaders anymore. Leaders like Teddy Roosevelt, leaders like Jack Kennedy, leaders like Ronald Reagan, you know, leaders like General Schwarzkopf, leaders like Jim Mattis, now that he's semi-retired. You know, we don't have those type of leaders anymore.
Yeah.
General Patton. You know, those were leaders of men. And why? Because they've just kind of fallen through the cracks. So it's like, you know what? I've always wanted to, I've taught leadership before. And I got to do some thinking. And there's a recent study by Civic Enterprises that said over 90% of veterans express an interest in continuing in their public service after getting out.
Yeah.
They just don't know where to do it. Can you imagine the leadership that a veteran has after 4, 8, 12, 20 years of service, and that kind of experience in leading people and knowledge and leadership ability, and wanting to serve, and a constitutionalist? That's the key.
Yeah.
You know, support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And to go into public service.
Yeah.
A lot of times, well, they want to be a congressman or they want to be a senator or something like that. But a lot of times, most of this 90%, the research I did, they just want to run for school board, city council, PTA, things like that. It's like there's no organizations out there that help these people, young men and women, to get to that point. You know what? I'm going to fill the gap. I'm going to stand in the gap for this. So we started the Arizona Veterans PAC. The whole purpose of this is to help veterans transition to public service. Doesn't matter how long you've been out. You can been out 20 years, but to get into public service, to actually determine, okay, do you really want to be in public service? Do you really want to run for office? Okay, you do? Cool. Then we're going to train you. Everything from how to set a budget for your campaign, how to write a stump speech, how to recruit volunteers, how to lead volunteers. Because there's a big difference from leading in the military to leading volunteers. You know, how to public speak. And I have a friend of mine who's a pastor in Iowa who is probably one of the best public speakers that I've ever had. I mean, he could really connect with people. And he wrote speeches for the former governor of Iowa. And he volunteered to come down and teach classes to veterans. You know, all the way to, you know, how to break down the data on your LD or whatever you're campaigning, and how to slice and dice on how to win a campaign. And that's part of like a candidate boot camp almost. Okay, that's phase one. And then actually giving them the resources to win. Boots on the ground volunteers and the financial resources. The whole idea was, okay, we're going to recruit the best of the best. We're going to train them like in boot camp or schools, you know, and train you up to go to war. And you know what? We're going to equip you to go to war with everybody around you that you need. And you know what? It's going to cost you $100,000 to win your race. You know what? Here's $100,000. Whatever you raise, you give back to the pack.
That's great. That's a great model.
You know, I mean, there's so much that we can do.
Yeah.
One LD at a time, keep Arizona red.
Yeah.
And how big is this organization, this PAC?
Right now, we only started it 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
What?
I thought it was something that you.
No, this came up. The idea for this, and helping veterans get into public service has been kind of a baby of mine for a while, but it's never really something that I've really come to the forefront. I talked to Tim Taylor, who's running for office. I thought it was, you know what? He could use some help financially.
Yeah.
It'd be great if we had a veterans pack to help him. Like, he's a Marine. He has leadership skills. You know, a friend of mine is helping him with his campaign. He's running an LD 18, or is planning on running an LD 18. You know, Walt Blackman, up in LD 6, Representative Blackman. He's a retired Army. Absolutely, probably one of the best representatives that we have in the state. Army veteran, combat veteran. He's a true warrior and a leader. You know what? He knows how to lead. He's be a great mentor to the young warriors. You know, I mean, but he's already doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is just holistic way of leaders. Leaders have a tendency to regenerate themselves, you know, and make more leaders.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, we have representatives like Walt Blackman who are making more leaders behind him. And so why not start? Even if somebody wants to run for school board, we need good conservatives in the school board.
Definitely.
Somebody who who knows how to read a budget.
Yeah.
You know, somebody on city council.
Bet.
You know, Jerry Weirs in Glendale. You know, veteran.
Yeah.
You know, we have some veterans out there who should not be in office.
Yeah.
You know, in Congress. And I'm just saying that from. Sorry, West Valley. You have a congressman out there who should not be. But you know, but I'm not going to name any names, Ruben. But anyway, you know, but there's, I mean.
So how are you reaching out to the vets on this?
Well, right now we're in the formation of it. I'm still working on putting the training side of it together. We have about 900 likes on Facebook. We're starting to gather some donations. They can go to azvetpack.org for more information. Like I said, we're putting together the outline right now for phase one is all getting started, getting a campaign off the ground, building your network, how to ask for donations, building your volunteer team, writing a communications plan, how to do digital campaigning.
Yeah.
And one of the associates on my staff used to work for Facebook, so he knows how to work the algorithms.
Okay.
And the
Perfect.
analytics. So using personal stories to connect. How to connect with a voter.
Good.
I'm sorry, but one of the best politicians who could speak was Barack Obama. Okay, he spoke very well.
Yeah.
And he could connect. Bill Clinton spoke very well and could connect.
Correct.
Okay, why can't Republicans do that? They get
Yeah.
stiff. Mitt Romney was very stiff.
Yeah.
Couldn't connect.
Yeah.
You need to connect to get the votes.
Correct.
Calculating your vote total, how to get out in the field and do your thing, field tactics, how to use Sidekick. The Republican, the state Republican Party uses Sidekick. How to use that and how to use it the right way. Getting the Republican Party on side with this. Get out the vote campaigns. Campaign fundamentals. How to get organizational support. How to get the Republicans on your side. You're a constitutionalist. How to get constitutionalists on your side. Scheduling out campaign events, things like that. And this is just phase one to learn. That every candidate should know.
And that's a good process right there. That is a good process that the candidate should know.
Yeah, but it's to go to a candidate boot camp like this. They have them across the country, and I talked to a few people within the party who have been around for a while, who have gone to some of these candidate boot camps around the country. They're usually like $1,500, $2,000 to go and learn this for 2 or 3 days. This is Arizona. Okay, if you're going to run for a school board seat that you're not going to get paid for, why not be able to offer this to our candidates for free?
Yeah. Good process. Yeah.
So I mean, that's the whole concept. We're going to start with veterans, and hopefully within a cycle or two, be able to do it for expand out to other than veterans.
But if it's an AZ vet PAC,
It's
that's a political.
state only.
Huh?
Yeah.
State only.
Yeah. It was political what? I'm sorry.
Political Action Committee.
Yes.
So that means you would have this one would be just for veterans, right?
This one is just for veterans. Yes.
So the PAC is just for veterans.
Yes.
So if you do another PAC for, let's say,
Like a leadership pack.
a leadership PAC,
Yes.
then you're
It's
incorporating other people
Yeah.
into it.
Civilians.
The same
We're not-
format,
Yes.
but it's not called AZ Vet PAC. It's called Leadership PAC.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. This is to get leaders onto school boards, city council, state legislature. That's it.
Are you going to different LDs and
Yes.
talking to the LDs?
Yes.
That's what you have to do.
Yes.
Stuff
Yeah.
like this.
Yes.
But
So
that's
what kind of reception have you gotten?
Absolutely great. I've already been asked to go to 2 other states and start this in 2 other states.
Two other what?
States.
2 other states.
States.
Uh-huh.
So what about LDs itself?
Oh yeah, I've gotten great response.
I mean, because you're here in Maricopa.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I'm saying that you asked how good of a response I've gotten. That's how good of a response I've got.
Yeah.
Even other states are asking me to do this. So, and this is something that just my team and I. This is kind of an idea. So, you know what? The whole idea of leadership and passing that leadership on, and utilizing the skill set that veterans already have, and they want to serve, just bringing that to the next level. Why not? And my team, my staff and I kind of put this together, and it just kind of blossomed.
So what's the main thing that your company's doing now?
Company-wise,
Yeah.
policy group-wise,
I know you have this going.
yeah,
And so
yeah. Well,
you said you had a couple of things.
we're working on. We have a client who is we're trying to stop the recreational marijuana initiative. feel that it's if the citizens of Arizona want to vote recreational in, that's up to the citizens of Arizona. Don't feel that as a citizens initiative and putting it part of our constitution, it's a right thing to do because it can't ever be changed.
Yeah.
Let the legislature do it. And the way it's written is not good for Arizona. It ruins the medical. It ruins. It's not good for the patients that are using medical cannabis right now. That's one of the biggest things we're working on. Working on some campaigns, helping some candidates finish up their signature collections and some fundraising for them, and we're doing a lot of prep work for the new session. We had some ideas for some legislation, and had some just shot a couple emails once the session was over to a couple like-minded legislators, and we have sponsors, and things are going well.
Good.
We're trying to partner with or come alongside Representative Blackman and Representative Bullock with their criminal justice reform. I think they're doing a great job and have some great ideas. With that, with Representative or Senator Farnsworth, with his missing children initiative, what's going on with DCS and the children that are getting lost within the system, and children are being taken away from their parents for multitudes of reasons that they shouldn't. So we have a lot of things going on. We're trying to make Arizona a better place to live. Within the whole process.
Conservatively.
Conservative.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's the 5 we have full-time on staff. Tea Party is liberal compared to us. If you put it that way.
And your Kahlo thing is on the 25th?
On the 25th, and it's going to be up in Buckeye.
In Buckeye.
In Buckeye. We're going to be at the Painted Desert Montessori Academy, and that's at 2400 South 247th Avenue in Buckeye, 85326. And the reason I brought that together is because, again, Latinos were very religious, and the party of the Democratic Party is not the party that we used to think of it as before. It's gone way far. But I think Jesse has a way of tying religion and politics. That's why we came up with Jesse Romero has a way of speaking. That's why I came out with the title Church and Politics.
Church and Politics.
Okay, because one thing we got to understand too, Latinos we go back to we're very religious. We got to understand that even just a simple, people may say, oh, it's just a simple bill, or it's just a simple, but abortion is just one case of just the abortion bills. How can you have a candidate that is for that, and yet what you believe and your faith is not for that? And a lot of people are overlooking that and overlooking at what you're saying. I think when you got a candidate, you may say, well, I had one person say, well, the Democrat, when I got done talking with them, and then just saying, okay, then how can you vote for a person who is for abortion, for killing, just point blank for killing, well, yeah, you can't, because deep down inside in your heart, in your religious faith, that that is not right, but yet you want to put it behind you, and because whatever reason you want to go with this candidate.
Because he's a Democrat.
Yeah, because he's a Democrat. And a lot of them are like, yeah, that's true. That's one issue then you should think about. If there's anything else, this one issue about abortion, liberals are all for it. Democrats are all for it. They're all for it. So are you really going to vote for that? And these people, everybody, yes, correct me if I'm wrong, when you're running for an office, you really got to understand the politics of, and that's your organization, what you're doing, which is great. But also, you got to understand your religion too. You got to understand the candidate A lot of candidates used to come out and say, I'm Catholic, I'm Christian, I'm good, and they choose to show it.
Well, you know, the problem is, it's nobody ever holds somebody's feet to the fire on say, well, I'm this and I'm this. Well, you're right. They used to be able to show it, and we don't hold those candidates' feet to the fire. We don't ask the tough questions. You know, I've made a lot of legislators uncomfortable because I don't have a problem asking the tough questions. I don't care how many people I get mad at me. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't care left, right, center. It doesn't matter to me.
Correct.
My constituency first starts in my home, and the second thing is my job is to make sure that Arizona is taken care of. You know, and I had the argument with or the discussion with somebody the other day. Well, I can't believe that you're going to vote for Trump. I said, well, okay, you know what? It's only another 4 years. I said, big deal. I prayed for Barack Obama for every day for 8 years. What? Yeah. I said, president is only in office at the most for 8 years. A governor is only in office at the most for 8 years. We have term limits on our legislators.
Yeah, but I think.
But you will vote for the rest of your life. Okay, so you need to choose on how you're going to set the direction on every election cycle for your neighborhood, your LD, your state, and the precedents that you make. Because every time that you vote for somebody, they're going to put a law in place. And if put a bad law in place, then it's going to waste time to take that bad law out. And that takes time on getting good policy done.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that whoever you vote for is doing good policy.
But I think President Trump, he will win the next 4 years. I think there's going to be an amendment made so that he gets another 2 years after that, and I'm gonna be voting for that because the Democrats have taken away his 2 years. He deserves those 2 years back. So I'm going to be pushing for that, and it may sound silly, but we're going to get Trump for not 4 years, but we're going to get him for another 2 years.
Well,
And if we could stretch it for another 4 years after that, I'm for that.
Talking about Donald Jr. running in 2024. I saw some things, Trump 2024.
But Junior,
Donald Jr.
Donald Jr. Is planning to run in the future too.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about Donald Trump,
Yeah.
my president. I wouldn't mind seeing him serve 8 more years. So I'm one of those that'll fall in that camp.
I get what you're saying, George. I get what you're saying because he has changed. If you look at it correctly, even the last polls, the Latinos up, they're for him. African American are for him. Asian, all those polls have gotten up.
You know why? You know what? He's put out good policy.
And everybody's working.
You know what? I don't care what he tweets.
No.
I don't care what he says. I really don't.
No.
It really doesn't matter. It's what you've done. Show me.
Show me what
But
you
you see,
me.
but you see, the Democrats are tweeting now too.
I know.
Yeah.
They're all over Twitter, and they talk about him,
Yeah.
but they see that he's communicating that
Yeah.
way, so they're communicating against him that way.
Yeah.
That they're going on Twitter and saying, "Well, he did this and he did this,"
He did that.
and it's funny to see because they're following in his same traps that he sets for them, and it's so funny. I want to congratulate Andy Biggs for being selected as the chairman of the Freedom Caucus. He's our very own Andy Biggs, and Congressman Andy Biggs.
Congratulations.
And he's a great congressman, and he deserves all of Arizona's support. He's going to be a good chairman for the Freedom Caucus. You want to give the address again for the?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give that. It's over again September 25th, Painted Desert Montessori Academy. That's 2400 South 247th Avenue, Buckeye, Arizona 85326. We're going to be there from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Yep.
will be there. Also, we will have some refreshments, some
And
some
the
cookies.
tickets?
No tickets. It's all free.
Free.
It's all free.
And you get to see Jesse Romero
Romero, and you get to come.
speak, a great speaker. So if you have the time on what
The
is
25th,
the
September?
25th of September the 25th, which is on a Wednesday, and go. It's in Buckeye. It's really close by. Everything to me is close by because I go from one side of the city to the other. So, but that's going to be a great thing to do. Also, and do you want to give them information about the pack? How they can?
azvetpack.org is the website. You can connect on Facebook at azvetpack, and hashtag votevet. Vote vet. To support your vets who are running for office, or your constitutional veterans who are running for office.
And I want to remind everybody that on 9/14 Saturday, this Saturday, they're going to have a Never Forget rally at Higley High School in Gilbert, at the Higley High School in Gilbert, and it's by Brad Zinn, and it's going to be very, very good. He's one of the moderators, and it's going to be a very good program that he has set up with comedians and speakers. He's going to be the comedian, but they're going to have speakers, and it's in honoring the 9/11, but it's on 9/14, so it's from 5 to 8 p.m. So if you can make it, it's Higley High School in the city of Gilbert. So
Could I do one more shout out?
Sure.
Saturday, if you can't make it down to Higley, the VFW Post 740 off of Thomas is doing their steak fry at 2:30. It's not only to remember those victims or the ones who we lost on 9/11, but those we lost fighting for freedom afterwards.
Right.
And don't forget September the 25th in Buckeye.
Buckeye. You can go to our website. Our website is olatuque, OLA2QUE.com, and go to the calendar, and all the information will be right there.
That's my
Okay.
wife. I'm not here.
Okay.
And we want to say, if you can, just remember, don't drink and drive, don't text and drive, watch your kids around water. We have a phone going off back there. Don't text and drive, don't drink and drive, and watch your kids around water.
Stay hydrated.
It's going to be
Stay
very
hydrated.
hot, few more weeks, so everybody should be responsible. Again, we'll be back next week, next Thursday. We're in the People's House, thanks to the chairman of the Republican Party who's allowed us to tape in here.
Thank you, Dr.
And
Ward.
our chairman, Dr. Kelly Ward, and she's doing a great job, and we should all come together and get out the vote.
Yes.
And if you can donate to the Republican Party, please do. And if you can volunteer for the Republican Party to help in the Republican Party, just call the Republican Party here, and they'll be glad to tell you where they could use you to help out. And we got to have all boots on the ground. This is going to be a very, very important election coming up, 2020. I joke about it a lot because I'm pretty sure Trump's going to win, but we have to get out the vote. We have to get senators elected. We have to get congressmen elected. We got to get school board members elected. We got to get House of Representatives, the State House, the State Senate, and then the congressmen and the House Representatives and the Senate.
Judges.
Yeah.
And the judges.
Yeah.
And he's doing really good with the judges.
Yeah.
And it's paying off. So
And we have a new Supreme Court judge, and congratulations, Justice Bill Montgomery.
Bill Montgomery.
So we're gonna have a new Maricopa County attorney.
So this, we all have to pitch in and do our share. Thank you for watching the Chips and Salsa show.
Thanks for having me.
And Alice will be back here next week, and so will I. And we hope that you can come back and talk about how this AZ vet pack is working out and how many people.
Anytime.
Because
next time I will bring chips and salsa.
There we go.
Okay, that's a good idea. We're gonna hold you to that.
There we go.
Thank you, and see you next week.
See you next week.
Once I work my way out of here.
You got it all set.